You're listening to Polymatic.media, episode 93 for July 2022. Welcome to the Polymaticast. I had to pause there for a moment, John, because I had to think, wait, are we still in July?
Every single time.
I know. Well, it's just, we only do this once a month. We used to do it somewhere more frequently, and so I'm not on a regular pattern. So, and then when you release them sort of, late
Whenever.
into the process. Yeah, I know, it's not a complaint. It's just a comment. So the point is, I was like, wait, when did I just last listen to I was like, oh, right. That was in July. And that's where I get myself stuck in a moment where it's like,
yeah,
wait,
it was released in June.
Yeah. Well,
So,
end of.
The end of June.
But it was just, I was like, how was real recent ago? So anyhow.
Well, we usually record on like whenever at the beginning of the month, and then somewhere near the end I release it.
Us in the U.S. and stupid holidays, I asked for us to, because I was away. I asked for us to record this weekend and off our normal schedule. So.
Well, you have some convention stuff to take care of, I think. So.
I have a bunch of things going on, and yesterday was a thing I kind of needed to be out, but I might have to change that due to some family stuff. But nonetheless, welcome to July. We're still in it.
2022.
Surprisingly, 2022. It's just easier for me to say 2022. So anyhow. I don't know. We're already halfway through the month. Isn't that crazy? August is on the horizon.
Yep.
So, yeah. So what's been going on?
It's been going on. I got lots of toys. I've been to Austria and back.
Oh yeah. How was your trip?
Yeah, it was pretty good. And walked a lot. Walked like maybe 75 to 80 kilometers in like 3 days. My legs were killing me by the end of it, so it was fun. It's a bit of that was a lot of walking over those couple of days. Yeah. I've seen a lot of Vienna, not a lot of the surrounding, because it was just three real days. And most of, like, out of the 4 days I was there were 2 days that were travel days as well, so, just basically 2 days in Vienna for reals.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. The exhibition was good. And then I went to see some more of the city and surroundings. So, yeah.
It's good to get out of your environment sometimes.
It was fun to be out of the country for the first time in 6 years, 7 years. I was actually planning on going like to the States like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In 2020, I was like, oh yeah, I'll go do a trip, but no.
So, when I was a teenager, my father's like, we should go on a trip, and so we traveled a little bit, and then that thing expired, and as an adult, I never gone through the process of getting a passport. So I hear stories like, oh, it's easy if you already have a trip planned and proof that you have it planned. And then there's also the, you go here, you go to this, you sign 19 forms in triplicate, and then you do, the hokey pokey, you walk around, you find 6 geocaches, you come back with a picture, and then maybe we'll decide to give you a passport.
Wait, it's hard to get a passport in the US?
Yeah, well, that's what it used to be. And then I just sort of, when I had like a moment between jobs or something, I was like, oh, I'll do a thing I never have time to do, and go run around and get a passport. And then exactly as I should have just exaggerated the story was kind of like what the process was. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really have a trip planned. And then, who I talked to, they all made it very complicated. And so I was like, I'll do it when I have a plan, like a trip or something.
And do you have a way to identify yourself during internal flights from state to state?
Yeah, I mean, I have a driver's license.
Okay, so driver's license works as well.
Well, but it doesn't work as a passport. So, and actually, the the specific state that I'm in, they most of them are conforming some additional identification stuff. This is even well before pandemic, and the particular state that I am in doesn't default that. You have to kind of go out of your way to to sort of get the extra identification stuff put onto your driver's license. So during the pandemic, they didn't even let people go into into the driving centers. So they just mailed me my renewed driver's license. So I have to either go out of my way for that, which is something I have to do anyways, or I eventually will probably should go through the process of getting my passport done. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things you're gonna have to
Traveling
take.
a little bit more is nice.
Yeah. So taking a couple days off is something I might have to do just to take care of a passport, even if I
Wow.
have no intended trip in mind. So
Come to Europe.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I haven't made any kind of plans, go visit you or go visit friends in the UK or anything like that, or go visit people in Canada. Like, I haven't had any urgent need to or any reason to, but also I can't even start that process unless I have a passport that's been updated. So outdated, it's basically expired. So having the old one when I was 15 doesn't really mean anything.
No, that's been a while.
Yeah.
I still have a passport, and I think my passport's still from 2015, 2016. It's valid for another couple of years, so
Hmm.
should be fine. But like when I look at the photo on my passport, it looks so different
Yeah.
because I've lost in the last year even
Oh, wait.
like 20 kilograms so far.
Yeah.
So getting there in the terms of like a lot of weight. So I'm starting to not look like my passport photo,
Mm.
especially since
I
I grew like the full beard now and instead of the just a goatee.
Yeah,
So yeah,
my driver's license picture would have been nice for it to be updated, but I don't know that it reflects me anymore. I have more sort of this salt and pepper gray scheme going on in my beard, so not so much anymore with whatever grungy picture I took like 8 years ago.
yeah.
So
Well, it's kind of funny if you see pictures of yourself from like 10 years ago. It's like so different. Oh well, getting old, looking different.
yeah, and that's the nature of things. And and so like a friend of Bryce's, his friend just sort of gets into a thing, and for many years he was the guy with the camera, just who was just ninja sneak shotting every picture of every person when we were all hanging out all the time, or filming everybody all the time. And so I know the last weekend he's like, guys, look up, and he took a picture. He's not doing it as much as he used to, but one of those moments where he was just like, I was standing there doing something, I was talking to somebody, he's like, Alan, look at me, and I look at him, and then he took like paparazzi, like random like 24 pictures in a second, and then he puts them up on the site, and I was like, oh, he sent them to me. He's like, oh, okay, that's a pretty good picture of me. So I took it and cropped it, and that's one of two or three profile pictures I do. But I have more gray in my sort of in my beard now, so it doesn't necessarily reflect the same level of youth, but it is me nonetheless.
Yeah.
So
Well, soon I'll be at a point where I've lost half my weight, so that'd be cool.
yeah, I heard Jefferson has lost weight. I was talking with Albert, and he's like, "Yeah, I was at a place, and this guy came up to me and said, 'Hello,' and he's like." Albert didn't really look up from his phone. He's like, "Yeah, hi, how you doing?" And the guy went back and emphatically said, "Hello," again to him, and he looked up, and it was Jefferson, and Bryce was in this exchange at the moment. He's like, "Yeah, that was Jefferson." Apparently, he didn't recognize him. Apparently, he lost a lot of weight. So, I've
Uh,
not seen Jefferson in years, so I don't know.
Suddenly, Jefferson followed my artist Twitter account, so that was fun.
Oh, really?
I was like, huh,
It,
what?
interesting. He does come in the OG Discord. Shares his opinion on music all the time.
Hmm.
So,
I think because I retweeted the OG so many years post. That's why I think.
hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of new stuff that I bought and got. I have the Steam Deck. We'll get to that in a minute. I figured out why my OnePlus wasn't charging properly. It had lint in the USB-C port.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's like super hard to see because it's like super dark in there. So it was like hard to see. So I was like, you know what? This port doesn't charge well. So I was having issues while on vacation. And I was like, it wouldn't charge during the day, during the night. I was like, oh, what's going on? Why is this phone so shit? So I put it on the wireless charging, and that worked fine. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
huh. It wasn't charging fast, super fast, but at least it was charging, so that was good. I was like, huh, something is wrong. Maybe it's the cable or something, like the power supply cable. So what's going on? What's going on? And suddenly I was like at the office, and I was like, okay, screw this. Took a wooden toothpick. I went through the uh, through the through the thing, and it was like, I took like, there's a lot of lint in there. But like, it kind of makes sense. But like, it. On the other hand, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Why
So
you
why
would have
wouldn't it
lint?
fast charge if it could make a normal charging connection? Because I when I plugged it in, it charged, right?
Right. So, it only needs a few connectors to get to the power.
Yeah, turns out there's a sleeve on the outside. So the grounding pin is the outside. And it needs to contact between the outside and the back of the socket to make the warp charge work.
Oh, okay. So let me ask this question because I was imagining that the lint was in the female side of
Yep.
on your phone. Oh, okay, right. I was just gonna say because
Mm.
like, was it something that was a problem inside the actual contact on the cable? So
Yeah, it was on the inside.
this is one of those where the Nintendo myth of the Nintendo cartridge blowout, right, probably would have been beneficial at the moment, where you just go on it.
Yeah, well, it's I wish I knew about this. Still, OnePlus sucks. It still sucks.
Hmm.
And I will never buy a OnePlus phone ever again. Then again, I might not buy a nothing phone because that doesn't seem like something for me either. Although it is cheap and it will be available here for
Yeah.
the European market. So it won't be available for the US market, but let me see if I can focus this Logitech camera. It doesn't focus on me. What the
Well,
hell?
it's because you don't really have any focus through the web software we're using to talk to each other. So,
Well, the camera's supposed to autofocus, right?
yeah, I know. I even have the same problem at work. It's just one of those things where it just won't, or it's delayed.
There we go. Hello? Oh.
Your new light.
No, it's the old light.
Oh.
There we go. No, it's not focusing either. This is so
No, you're
bad.
just washed out.
Yeah, I don't know if this is much better. Anyway, I wanted to show Alan the USB, the inside of the USB port, but I need to get one of those um, uh, microscope USB microscopes so I can show the inside of ports and stuff. Because I'm building like a setup for my a workbench
Yeah.
streaming setup. I had to. I have an old AMD FX system that I was using for that desk, but it's so old and it's so like on the edge of dying that one of the USB 3 ports gave out, and the other one is also being flaky. So I might just at some point decide to splurge another $600 into another computer
Hmm.
for that system. So I'm thinking about that. But then if I do that, I might actually just go buy one of those. Get one with a lot of USB ports, so I can do the
Oh yeah.
attach a lot of cameras and capture devices.
I I have been reasonably successful with. I always buy these like Anchor USB power hubs, um, and uh, and actually they've changed them so much. The ones that I like, you just kind of can't get anymore. But I at least have two of them. I used to buy more than one, and they'd burn out for whatever reason, or take them into work, or I come into work one day and it'd be completely missing, and someone in the middle of the night took it because they just decided they wanted it, whatever it was. So I bought enough of these things over the course of time, but now you can't really get the same ones anymore. So the point is that I've been reasonably successful when I needed to sort of add something. It's fine, but if I really need like that high speed from like a hard drive, I always take one of the side ports on the system that I have upstairs. I just sort of pull out whatever cable I have in and swap it out.
I have one of
For
those.
temporary uses.
I got something on Prime Day. That's actually pretty good. We'll talk about that later. But it's a USB hub, a powered USB hub with 7 USB ports on it.
Yeah.
And you can enable each port individually, so you can connect each port individually.
I
so
know.
it doesn't. So it doesn't. It's USB 3.
Yeah.
And it's so nice because it doesn't keep everything powered. So you can plug in a USB stick that you use often, but don't want to leave powered on. Or like I can turn on and off my my keyboard, my mouse, my Stream Deck, so it doesn't leave the screen on all the time, which is wonderful. So yeah,
I know Brent has one that I've seen in the past that I always like. I don't really need it, but I put it on my Amazon wish list.
I'll send you the link. Maybe it's also available in the US.
Yeah. I don't really have any need for stuff like this, because if I just buy this stuff, I'll just keep forever buying this stuff. So then I end up in a house full of stuff that I need to then sort out before I move.
Yeah. But like with the update, I recently got a new update for the OnePlus, and it's been okay. It hasn't failed me worse than it already has. My biggest issue with it was the warp charge not working anymore, and then it draining faster. For now, I've been ending up with like 60% at the end of the day. So if I charge it full during the night, I end up with 60% at the end of the next day. So I can do maybe 2.5 days on it.
Yeah.
And that works fine. If I set it to battery saver mode, I can like 4 days on it. Which I did that in Austria, but I was using it so much to like navigate and use to take pictures and stuff that I just used that battery like nothing else. I was very happy I brought the giant chungus of a battery backup. It had
have a handful
power
of those.
delivery. Power delivery charging on the phone is pretty nice.
Yeah, I have at least one 20,000 or 20 amp battery. I definitely have a handful of 10 amp ones, and every time I check in on them, they rarely ever need to be charged, and I never really use them. I use them like when I go to a con or something, right? There's usually I have one around me. I guess in my current setup, I don't have one in my car, but why would I? My whole car is a battery, so I don't really have that problem. But I have one in like my work backpack, and I have one typically something I put in if I'm traveling, right? But for the most part, yeah, I always have one of those things just sitting around. I always have one of those available to me. So
my friend in Austria had he has a I took a picture of it. It's a battery bank with an inverter on it, so you can just plug any laptop into it.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of those.
Do that. Yeah, but it's like the size of a big beer can.
Oh, okay, so that's a little different. I know like Linus has they have one that they sort of sponsor sell,
The
um,
Jackery.
the Jackery.
Yeah, I
Um,
want one.
Anchor has one. There's another one like called Eco or something like that I've seen around. And again, I've always sort of marked it off as something to spend money on, but they're one. I don't go camping. I don't have a general utility need for that kind of thing. It wouldn't even be able to power my car, and if you could get one that does, it would take like 20 hours and to give me like 6 additional miles. So like it's not really worth it, right? It's worth just calling someone to tow your car or calling roadside where they'll just charge you up. Um, that being said, uh, they're always every time I see them, they're always running in the $1,000 or roughly near $1,000 or more. So when it comes to something like that, that's the adventure, not to spend the money.
Yeah.
So,
So the one I saw was from X Storm. It's the AL480,
hmm, okay.
and it has like a, but I think it's a European brand. It's like a 20 amp. It was a pretty nice thing. It could like power some electronics on it. So
Mm-hmm.
I just wanna get one of those for like if I want to go somewhere and be outside. See if there's like a way to plug in I,
Solar.
a solar. I do have a solar panel. I forgot the solar panel. Luckily, my backpack had a solar panel, so I could hook it up into that one and charge the battery. Not that I did that, but like I could have if I needed it to. So
Yeah, but also it's not like you're gonna nice sunny day, 5 minutes, I'm charged up, right?
no,
In
no,
a
no.
need, you're gonna be waiting hours. And you have to have like the room to spread out, and it has to be a peak. And well, it is sort of an advantage. And I did long ago. I bought this for sort of chintzy solar clamshell thing I could open up, and had these little solar panels in it. I don't know. It's probably like a 4 amp battery or something in it, at best. And it was cheap, and it didn't really work that well. And the connectors were not just like directly off on USB. They were doing some kind of weird like universal headphone jack to different plug out things. It was just a little bit of a mess. I think I still have it.
Hmm.
um, but the advantage is you could at least charge it, and then there's a little light on it, so if you need some kind of solar light or something. But
Yeah,
um, I don't know.
there's there's a lot of junk that I bought on Prime Day this year.
Yeah, well, that's what Prime Day has. It has junk. Every once in a while, it does have a reasonable deal, but
Yes.
for the most part, the stuff that is like a reasonable deal, I'm not buying, or I already have,
Well,
or I don't need.
why I
So
bought it is because I wanted to do. There was some purchase therapy going on. I needed to, you know,
mhm.
get some stuff. So I
I
got
I
some.
think I think I'm all tapped out on purchase therapy. I'm in the process of, I put deposits down on a house. The remaining purchase therapy will be when I'm in, and I need to make some decisions about like a fridge and washer and dryer, and I just need to buy stuff. I know. I see your fancy knockoff light from the oh no, that's totally different. What I was seeing was reflection of light. I thought you were shining something at me. So
No,
I think
there is. This is a. This is just
it's a
because
meter.
it
Yeah.
has the button. It's a meter,
Oh, it does have a light on it. Got
and
it.
it also has a light on it. It has like it can sense like power from lines. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty cool. It was pretty cheap, but like having one of these is like, of course, has a stand and whatever. It has a thermometer and stuff with it, so that was pretty nice. I was like,
It's your
okay,
tricorder.
I went through a couple of these things and I was like, okay, I'll look at which one I like best and then just put that in the thing. And then the Prime Day thing is that you have like 15 minutes to check out. But what they forgot about is that you can just open a tab, leave it in there, don't buy it, and then just keep browsing. And then when you
Mm-hmm.
come back, you open up all those tabs, and then you say, "Okay, I want this. No, I don't want this. I want this. Yes, I want this." And then
Right.
put it
You
into
just
your
add to
cart and just
cart.
go
Yeah.
and purchase it. Like then, I was like, okay, I don't want to purchase each one of these because then, oh yeah, then your discount is gone for some reason. No, it
Right.
is not. You just open it up again and you can get it.
Like the only thing that I saw that might be of interest was the Anchor Nebula 4K laser projector, and I'm not sure that's the format I want. And the one that I did bookmark, again, I'd be spending a bunch of money and taking a risk to see if it's junk or not, um, because you can't really get you can't get honest reviews anymore.
No,
Um,
they're all junk.
right, and so unless you're spending $25,000 for Sony's original one, you just kind of you can't trust. So while I could save $500 in the Anchor Nebula for a limited time on Prime Day, um, I don't live in this space and I don't know that it will work, and I don't want to be spending money on something until I know what the situation is. That's it. And I
Alan is
don't
in safe
necessarily
mode.
mean just because I buy it that I'm going to be in the home sitting down on my couch watching TV. I kind of don't watch TV that way anymore. I have two big, I have 68 inches of monitor space, at my desk, and one of them becomes how I watch TV. So while I might be watching TV forever in my office floor, um, I don't know that yet. And until I make that decision, I'd rather just wait for that Prime Day or spend the money then or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather let future me make decisions instead of past me bought something because I got $500 off, right?
Yeah, I went for not that much like the I didn't go for the oh it's a big ticket item and then it's a lower price. I went for stuff that I knew I wanted for a while and then seen it's on a list somewhere or something like it or something very similar to it. So I have these lights in my kitchen and they are halogen lights. And I was so done with these things because they heat up so much. They create
Mm-hmm.
so much heat, especially in summer, that you can't use them in the kitchen or you'll basically bake everything underneath it. So I took them out, and one of the internal stuff of the light was crispy, so I had to solder in a new connector for the light. But I got some G4 LED lamps, so replacing their G4. That's a specific size for those lights, and I
Mm-hmm.
replaced them with LEDs, and they are so much better. They don't
Yeah.
flicker, which is like wonderful. I can do like high speed recordings now in my kitchen. They don't even flicker, which is pretty nice. And they were the last non halogen non LED lights in my house. So I'm pretty happy with that they're gone. And
Yeah, so I know for the house they basically are putting in LED everything. And I happen to be in like the Home Depot. Basically, it's just sort of one of those places if you need to buy a hammer or something like that.
yeah.
It's a hardware store box franchise hardware stores here in the U.S. So I happen to be down the plumbing aisle for something, and the very end of it, they had a bunch of these lights, and the electrician was telling me about a light he was going to install, and blah 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 blah, and I was like, can you just install hi hats in these, in these four places instead of that? He's like, all right, and I'll find out. And then I think that's what his plan is, so that I can just throw in the hue lights. I don't. I was sort of been thinking like until I know what my light situation is, until I move in a new house, I I'm probably just gonna gift all these nice. These are halogen. That one burned out. And I never replaced it. I just didn't care. It's I don't really
It just
let
it
the
saves
landlord
me
deal with it.
100 watts if I turn that thing off. 120 watts.
Yeah,
It's
but
like I turned the thing on. I tested it before I put the new lights in. Then I turned them off and replaced the lights. I turned the new on. It's like this. It went from 120 to 15 watts for the entire kitchen.
right, yeah.
What?
So that was where I was going with this. Is I converted just about everything. There's probably just a few lights in the house here that are not even LED. There might be a third bedroom, the small bedroom. I probably never put LED bulbs in. I don't know. I might have. I might have just gone and did it. I never thought about it. But even my roommate, I took an adventure one day and I replaced his light bulbs. So, the power bill was a lot less by a significant amount the moment I did that.
Yeah. So my power bill, because I do have like an electric cooker. So all I don't have gas in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is electric. So the heating for not the heating, but the water heater is electric, and then the like for the shower stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the
Boiler.
boiler. Yeah, that'll be
And
good.
then the other one, the kitchen. The kitchen is electric, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a gas stove. I have an
So
electric stove.
they already, before I even looked at the house, before we even bought it, I couldn't make a decision to have it stopped entirely, and then also for its sale, for it to be saleable if I ever need to move out when I buy the house. After I buy the house, um, there's gas lines in the house. The one thing I was able to stop was in the kitchen. They had it terminated because they hadn't put a stove in yet. They hadn't even put the cabinets in yet. So I had them make sure they're checking to make sure it's terminated properly. And I'm having to put an induction. I bought an
Yeah,
induction stove.
that's good.
So that's going in terms of the kitchen. But apparently they already ran the lines, and the dishwasher in the kitchen uses gas, I guess, for heating. So,
What?
yeah, I know. That's what I was surprised. I'm like, really? And he's like, yep. I was like, oh, okay. So that and not the water heater.
Can you
That is
replace the
electric.
dishwasher to just be
Um,
electric?
but the HVAC system it uses gas. So these are things that maybe when I go solar, maybe these are extra budgeting that I do
Yeah,
later that I have them terminated and I turn it off. Like
yeah.
I was just trying not to add cost, extra stuff, and I'm like it'll probably be fine, but at some point I really want to get more close to being green. And that'll be the time to do that. Will be to swap that out later, and have those things terminated, put electric in, put solar, on the house.
I also got LED
I know
panels.
your knockoff of the aperture, Emirates MC.
Hey, it does stuff. It changes colors and stuff, and has effects.
I know. So does the Amarin MC.
I know. It wasn't that expensive. It was very cheap actually.
Yeah, and I'm sure that it's not exactly identical, but I'm sure that they now that they knew what to copy, that's what they copied. So and a lot of people are doing it. It's not just uh, Aperture came up with probably one of the first ones. I think they were the first to do it because I had something before that when they were kickstarting something, and I bought that one. That was the first, I think, of the line where they called them Amarin on those kind of LED lights, and maybe it's just the M. I have it somewhere. I don't know where I have it, but I definitely have it. Um, and then they came out with the MC, and the MC was just amazing. Here in the U.S., it's like $100 on Prime Day. It was like $80. But it,
Yeah, this was not even close.
yeah, you said this was 30 for you.
Yeah.
The Amarin, I forget, has wireless charging on it.
Oh, this one doesn't.
Yeah,
But
and it has magnets on the back, so you could just literally, clamp at the things. So
you know what? I'm gonna make a Polymatic
they got
link.
so popular. You can buy a 6-pack, which comes in its own wireless charging case and everything. It's
Okay,
crazy
Polymatic link slash 15T for what I
what you bought.
for the Prime Day junk.
Yeah.
Let me see. Paste the formatting. There we go.
Hey, look, if
Um,
it works for you, it's all good.
yeah, it's nice. It was just an experiment. See if it's actually good.
My knockoff lights have been Viltrox.
I
On
know. I have
occasion.
one here. It works.
It
Wonderful.
worked. Yeah, it worked great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're. I think they finally changed their the free little photographic mount and hinge. It's not really. It was never ball head. They had some plastic cheap thing that where
Yeah,
the
it
screw
sucked.
would make it would yeah. So I learned my lessons 100 times to just don't use them. So,
Yeah. Also got one of those Key Smart keychain things, so you can put all your keys into like a little folding thing, so it doesn't dangle on
oh
your keychain.
oh interesting.
They're
I
great. I
I
already
bought
had
a
one, but I bought another
yeah.
one just because I was dealing with a lot of keys because of the new office. Oh, it's so nice.
I bought a Ridge wallet, for example, to maybe consolidate my wallet situation, and I just don't wallet that way. I just it just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I know it
This is
literally
not a
does
Ridge
not work
wallet.
for
This
me.
is called Secret,
Hmm.
which is I think it was earlier than the Ridge wallet, but it's like it has a little insides where you can put your cards. I'm not showing you my cards.
I know, but you understand my point is that for me it's like I just while I have cards and stuff, I just don't wallet that way. Um, it's I bought like one of those magic wallets that folds and unfolds a certain like way based on some banding built in, and I sat down for a moment to start to take apart my wallet as I have it to see if I could kind of improve my habit, and I'm like, nope, this doesn't work for me.
Well, it saves me a lot of space in my pockets. So
Yeah, what
there's
I have right now is fine.
yeah, it works. This
I
works
took a
good.
lot of old cards out. I was looking at something the other day. I saw a bunch of old cards stacked on a shelf, and I was like, "Oh right, I don't use any of these things anymore. I don't know why I was for life of me carrying these for like
Was
20
it
years."
like loyalty cards or something like that?
There were some of those, and then there was also additionally like certification cards where
Hmm.
they give you like a look like a credit card, but it was your like certification license for things.
Okay. I uh, what was I supposed to say here? Damn, I forgot.
It's that old age.
You're old man. I think you were talking about your wallet, and I was like, oh, I gotta make that point. Gotta make that point, and then oh crap. Anyway, so lots of Prime Day junk got bought. I think I also bought. Yeah, I bought that USB that USB
Pub.
hub. That
Yeah.
was really good
Yeah.
so far. I did test it, see if it's actually USB 3, and it is USB 3.
Mm-hmm.
But my Mac, for some reason, thinks that it is USB 2. And then when you plug in something that's USB 3, it switches to USB 3.
Odd. Maybe
Yep.
the host controller defaults to legacy and goes Class A. Maybe that's why.
Dunu? Dunu?
Until it has some kind of extra identifier for some reason.
Also got the new Steam Deck in, and it is wonderful.
Yeah. I saw Paul got his. You're in the queue to get your Steam Deck, and he was all excited.
Wait, he's in the queue? Oh, so he could order it.
No, no, no. It's like he's in the queue. It's coming, but that I haven't shipped it yet.
Oh, so he ordered it.
He ordered it. Yeah. In fact, I will go and look up whatever the conversation was in Discord.
Oh, it's kind of funny. On my PC, it now says, "Oh, your Steam Deck is available for streaming." Interesting. So I could stream a game
To
from
what?
my PC to my.
Oh, to your PC.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Actually, I kind of know from the PC to my. That's pretty good. Kind of want to do that because I
Okay.
tried to play certain games and they didn't work. Cyberpunk is supposed to sort of work, but it crashes so much. It's like
Mm.
unplayable. Then I tried to play Horizon Zero Dawn. I got some places and then tried to load something and it just froze up
Close up.
completely.
Dying.
And I've been playing Core Keeper on it, and it's a pretty entertaining game. I think you might like this game, by the way, Core Keeper. And I've bought Control, which is apparently good on the Steam Deck. I haven't tried it yet, but it might just end up being used as a remote gameplay device to play on the PC from the to play in bed from the PC. But I have to turn on my PC to play anything. So.
Okay, so what Paul had said, just got the notification I've made it to the front of the Stream Deck pre-order queue. The wait was 2 days, less than a year.
Oh, so he probably got the invite to buy it then. So he had to buy it within 3 days, I think. I think you have 3 or 4 days. So he probably has his on his way then.
Yeah. I don't know how to
if he
translate
ordered
it more than that.
Did he order it?
I believe so. It was certainly a conversation piece on the podcast. I'm pretty sure that he did. But there are certain topics, like if it doesn't include all the cast members, we don't make it. If it's just me and Paul are having a show and it comes up, him and I will talk at length about it for sort of what in the what's hot. But if it's just me, Matt, and Paul, and clearly Matt's going to be excluded from the conversation, we just usually, it seems to be on our best behavior. We don't really extend on other than a note that it's an occurrence.
We should have Paul on.
So Alan can be excluded. Actually, it won't really matter because I don't game like both of you. Right, both of you.
But I don't game that much either. So
But that being said, you game way more than I do. Right.
I don't really think so.
I very much just play Polymatic when I'm doing something else to sort of. Did I say Polymatic?
Yeah, you did.
I did. Polytopia.
It's a new game. You pretend to host a podcast.
Can you get through Alan's maze of a story?
Follow all the
labyrinth.
See where they lead. Discover the truth about Polymatic. Sorry, I'm bumping my microphone here. Sorry.
No, thank you.
Seems like a very bad game.
Can you get through a 3-hour play in a game? So yeah, I mean that's kind of what I play so that I can kind of get my brain to feel satisfied it did something. Even after a work day, my head just won't turn off right away. I'd just be sitting in bed awake. So what's the point of that? I sort of do things to burn my brain down to a point where it's ready to let me sleep.
Yeah. So I've been doing that with the Core Keeper, and before that I used to play a lot of I think I haven't opened up Animal Crossing or the Switch in like a month. I haven't been on there in a month.
I've been on there in months, and I haven't opened up. I know you've been playing Stardew Valley, but I haven't really gone back in there in a long while. I think I got to the whole routine of it being routine, and there wasn't I clearly am not good at fishing in there, so I'm never going to unlock the community center. So. Because of that, I'm never gonna really get much more achievement. I think I'm almost on down the final levels in the caves.
Oh,
so
okay.
I mean that's a small achievement, and
there's so much more to that game. So what I've been doing is I've been playing through the seasons, and then every day is an episode, and I've been putting them on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I have uploaded everything until the end of fall. So I have all summer as already planned and uploaded and queued for release, and then everything for fall, and then I'm working my way through winter right now. But if you see a video of me in 2021 playing Stardew Valley, and then you see a video of me now, it's so much different. I look so different. It's so weird to see. It's
yeah. I mean, I've already gone through at least multiple years already, so I've gone through the seasons a number of times. It's not like I didn't go. I've unlocked all that stuff. Community center I've not unlocked. I haven't gone down and done the final cavern. I didn't do the one in the desert. I didn't because I was getting my ass kicked. Now I have more weapons now, um, and um, and the little things that annoy me is like I put the fence up and then come winter. I have to repair the fence, and then you repair the fence, and then I have to repair the fence the next day, and it's just like, okay, being
Put
difficult
stone there.
to create a grind, right? And
I
that's sort
think
of
steel fences don't wear. So
okay. Well, then you have
or
to have
metal fences.
enough of that, right? To do that. So, and you got to be in the caverns all the time, right? For
Not
that.
really.
Hmm.
You can do either, whatever you want. There's also an island you can go to at some point. So as soon as you unlock the community center, you can go to the island. The fisherman opens up his boat,
Mm-hmm.
so you can. But you have to get some batteries and stuff for the boat, and
Right,
then
and batteries you find, right?
no, the
You don't.
batteries you get from like putting up lightning rods,
Oh, right. You're correct. That is correct. Yeah, and I've been
which
keeping
is
those. Um,
lightning hitting lightning rods create
right, but it happens
batteries.
so little. So.
Actually, you can cause it to happen with a totem of rain totem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much stuff to that game. I need to. I can probably finish the community center within the first year if I get to the recipe for the rain totem. So if I get that, then I can unlock the community center in the first year. That would be
Yeah.
really nice.
I just
I don't think it's gonna
I
happen.
can't do the fishing, so it just becomes a muted effort for me. Just can't. Just not good at it. Just doesn't work for me.
Well, most of the fish they do end up with the crazy lady and the traveling
And
merchant.
oh, okay. Yeah, and I could because I wasn't really keeping track of whatever, right? I buy those all the time when I see her. But if I'm on a thing where I'm like clearing out my woods, or because I have a lot of trees, I have bazillion trees, right? And so and they just they keep coming back anyways, and you want that wood. It's not like you can go down the bottom and just clear all those trees out. That is not as reliable. So, um, you know, again, I can create surplus for myself, or if I have a ton of like wine and cheese stuff in the cask going on.
So you have the
Mm.
basement full of cheese and wine.
Oh, yeah. I make a lot of beer. I have a lot of hops. Right, I got the greenhouse going. Got a lot of hops. It's
So
very
you're aging
productive.
stuff in your basement.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been
Mm.
doing that. And then in the other one, which is, I guess is another sort of bedroom at the bottom, I've expanded out the house as large as you can get. I've turned that into another place where I'm basically creating, doing aging stuff. So I'm making wine there. I keep the fruit wines all sort of moving there. I keep the cheeses in the basement, and I make a lot of beer. And I've been doing the winemaking in the one and the beer making in the other. Um, and then anytime I do anything like the cheeses, they just take forever to get them up to high quality.
Yeah,
So,
but then they sell really well, and they're very good in like the mines as a
oh,
resource
for
for
resource
covering.
food, yeah. I always have something, right, and make a recipe. Make something that I have on me. So the void eggs, though, I don't know what to do with those.
You can make void mayonnaise, and you can give them to Krobus, and
Oh,
Krobus really
Krobus
likes
like.
them. So if you want to befriend Krobus and have him as have him put his
I swear I gave
sewer
him
in
something.
his in your apartment in your house.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that what that thing is?
he's in the sewer. He's called
Okay, so I
Krobus.
don't think I have a key for that.
Oh, okay. So you need to at some point you get access to the sewer from a key from the old guy in the wheelchair. I think.
Oh, okay, George or whatever his
Yeah,
name
I think I
is.
think you get it from him, but I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, I'm generally nice to them, but I don't have that much interaction with them. So,
You just have to Google how that works.
mm.
Yeah. So I also got a new iPhone.
Not surprising. Hey, Alan, traveling. How many phones do you have on you? Oh, only three.
Well, I went on my trip with the SE, so SE2.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I got the message from the phone company saying, "Hey, you can renew your subscription, and like you can get a new phone." So I was like, And I've been on the SE for 2 years, so I was like, okay, I can get the new one. I want to get not the SE model. I want to get the full model this time.
I basically I didn't really need to switch from my 5, but I think there were just a couple things that were bothering me about it. I think it was a little too small for me.
You're talking about the
Pixel 5.
Pixel 5.
Yeah, and so I plan to get the 6, and so that's like the my rule of I typically hold on to them for a few years or until the point where something happens or basically it's overheating or whatever, right? But since I've had the Pixel phones, they've been pretty solid. But you get to after like near 2 years at some point, it's a good time to update. So I gave my mother my old Pixel 5. I got her a battery bank. She didn't understand how to use that.
Oh no.
You don't understand. I mean, how much of a frustration was. She's like, I don't understand. I said, Mom, if you want to charge from the battery, you put the big end of the cable here and the short end into the phone. And then they're just like, but if you want to charge the battery, you take the short end here into the battery and you stick it in someplace like a charger, wall charger, or your laptop.
Is the Pixel 5 a USB-C?
It is, yeah. And so was
an
the
Anchor
6.
USB-C charger.
I
Same
know
cable.
I did. I got all that stuff from my mother, but she just for life me would just refuse to make an effort to understand.
All you have to do is plug a USB-C cable from one machine to the other.
I know, but again, you don't understand. If you spent time with my mother trying to explain this, she wouldn't hear you either.
You're crazy.
And even when my mother was much younger and way more cognizant, my frustrations were, I remember one time, it was, I don't know, it might have been Windows 98, 95. It was just like, it wasn't even that, or maybe XP, didn't matter. It was just like, very rudimentary. And she was like, how do I open up Microsoft Word? And so I was like, okay, you click on Start, you go up to Programs, you go ahead, find Microsoft Word, click on it. Hold on. Let me get my notepad out.
Crap.
And then she just spend in cursive writing, click on Start. 15 minutes later, this goes by. This is going on for 45 minutes. And I'm just waiting for her. And she looks at me and squarely she goes, I'm not going to remember any of this. I go, Mom, then why are you writing it down? This wasn't even she was being funny. This is who my mother is in this respect. So it's just killing me.
Shock therapy.
And someone at work who might not be as astute on certain topics, right? And I can say, yeah, here. Oh, great, perfect, thank you, Alan. Right? And just I don't know. Parents don't listen.
Old people.
Yeah, well, she wasn't as old then, but yeah.
So did you get the Pixel 6 yet?
I'm holding it. Yeah, I've had the Pixel 6 for a while. Yeah, so my point was that I don't normally go and just replace them every 2 years for the sake of replacing them.
No. I had the SE on contract. I was like, okay, I'll just do it. It wasn't that expensive, so I was like, okay, I'll just it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
so I paid the phone loan that comes with it. So you get a loan for that basically over here, and I was like, okay, I'll just pay the rest of the phone. I'll just be fine. And then I did that somewhere in the beginning of this year. I was like, okay, just do that. And then I was like, I really want to get that new. I want to get the iPhone 13. I'll just get that 13. Yeah, that's all I got it.
Well,
And it is nice. It has like funky cameras and it looks like more and more like a spider every day. Yeah. All the eyes are looking at us.
yeah, so originally I was like trying to get the
OnePlus.
iPhone.
It's coming
Let's
for
say
you. It's
iPhone.
coming to eat you.
Yeah, I originally I was trying to get the Pixel 6 Pro, and it turns out it just couldn't get it because it was one of those things where I was sort of in the shopping cart and then it was just not functioning right, and then I just gave up on it and I ordered the normal Pixel 6. And I'm glad I didn't get the Pro because it would have been too big. This is exactly right size, correct for me. The Pixel 2 was a little bit bigger, but this is like the right comfortable in my hand
Yeah,
size.
I like the SE2, the iPhone SE2 because it was smaller than all the other phones because
Mm-hmm.
uh, it wasn't the size of like my hand completely. Like this is the iPhone 13. It is a little bit bigger. Oh, you can see
Mm-hmm.
the IR light in the.
I know, I can see it blinking.
Yeah,
It's trying to scan me.
it's trying to see if it's you. Is it you? Is it you? It's not
Is it me?
unlocking. That's cool. That's good. But now it's unlocking, so that's good. But like, it isn't as big as the OnePlus. So if I grab the OnePlus and the
Yeah,
iPhone
you can
13,
see
so the
the
iPhone
difference
13
in
is a little bit
size.
smaller.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like this.
So how do you like it?
I like the 13. It's very nice. It's very
Mm-hmm.
more of the same like the SE. The only difference is there's no fingerprint thing, which I kind of liked a lot better.
I like the fingerprint on the back because I could easily get to
Yeah,
it the way I hold my phone. And this is with it being on the front. And so it's kind of problematic because it doesn't, it's through the screen, right?
Yeah.
And
Same thing for
it's not
the
wonderful.
OnePlus does the same thing.
I do like that I never use it, but I like the front camera
You do like that
is
you never
coming
use.
from the front, not from a corner. And at the very least, I'm not completely distorted from the front camera. If I take a picture, I don't look so weird. Like, I already know I have a large nose, but it doesn't look like it's epically large, compared to those pinhole ones. Yeah,
I was making a big
a
noise.
face.
Big nose.
Yeah.
So yeah. So new phone, new phones, new gadgets, new toys, and then and one of my PCs gave out. Um, I think the USB for that thing is dead.
Mm.
So I think it's time to put that thing to rest. I think I bought it in 2015, and it was the old art machine that I once set up as like the streaming machine. It was an old FX system from AMD, and I think it's at a point where I can probably replace the motherboard and still get some years of life out of it, but it's so old and power inefficient that doing that would make it a little bit more
Right.
costly in the power department because it does take quite a bit of watts to run that machine, and it produces a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to get a Ryzen machine for that room, and then I'll be up to 3 Ryzen machines in my apartment.
Can you, is the graphics card at least nice enough to hold on to?
Oh yeah. It's there's a 1060 in it, so
Mm,
which is good
got it.
enough for streaming. Like it's not going to be well, it can play games. It can of course can play video games. I think I played like the beginning of. I think I played Horizon on it
Mm-hmm.
at some point. Then I switched it over to a 1660, and then now a 3060. I haven't played Horizon on the 3060 yet, but I think it played Horizon Zero Dawn in it, so was fine. But
But
like
you can,
it's good enough for streaming and stuff. So
right, you can use it for things.
yeah.
If you wanted to create a Plex server or something like that, it's
No.
perfect for that.
That machine is just going to be for streaming my workbench. And I was gonna use Teleport for this, so the
Mm-hmm.
OBS Teleport plugin. But turns out when you do that and you access the webcam,
Yeah.
it starts fritzing out the webcam. So I didn't have that problem, and then I turned on I added the plugin because I wanted to do a test stream from that workbench,
Mm-hmm.
and it just
Didn't work.
I just it just fritzed the fuck out of it.
NDI.
And I was like, crap, I have to get rid of this. So then trying to remove a plugin, that's one of the things for OBS that should really be much easier. A way to add and remove plugins to OBS. Because now you have to copy your DLL to this directory and have to find the right one because there's two of them. One of them is created by Steam Deck because you have a Stream Deck, and no, it's not good. So I think it's going to be me spending like $500-600 on a new computer, but I might just get a 5950X for my art PC, which is behind me right now, and then just stick that in that PC, and then remove the 5800 into a new system.
I think if we're talking about any kind of next buys in terms of a PC, it will likely be some kind of laptop, and the one I have now, while it can kind of be speedy, but like I hadn't turned it on in months after I replaced its battery, right, which would have been probably New Year's, and so I needed to check in on it because I knew that I was going to need to post a podcast, because they weren't going to get it to me early before I left. And that was exactly the case. They waited like 1 hour before their deadline, their final deadline, meaning like I got it at 11 p.m. instead of 12. They were been good about it where they get me their show days in advance. But no, they waited the last second. And I was like, am I forgetting something? Am I supposed to be? And I sent them an email and I pestered them and nothing. Crickets. So I brought my laptop, and in that effort of checking to see how's my laptop doing, because I haven't turned it on in 6 months, after I replaced that battery, the battery is like completely dead. So I charged it and it was fine. So, and this is a new battery. So, well, it used to be before I always had it plugged in, right? Because I used it, right? So you would think it should retain, but I'm like, I hope I don't. I'm gonna need it when I go to Otakon because I need to move files off on the drives. I'm gonna need my laptop.
Better buy some of those USB power banks, the big ones.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. Well, I need to. I left the thing off for it was fine, so I should probably turn it on and just check it. It's okay, because in a couple weeks I need to use
It's
it.
USB. It has a USB-C, right, for charging.
My old laptop, yeah, it has Thunderbolt 3 on it. So, but I'm gonna want to check footage and do some stuff. And the one person that's gonna be helping me is not coming this year. So,
I have a good battery that I can recommend. That will be able to. Where's my backpack? I'll figure it out.
Well,
I'll get you a link.
The big point is if the battery in the laptop is not going to behave, it's going to be problematic for me. So,
you mean it's going to explode?
No, not explode, but it might just die. I mean, the fact that I hadn't charged it in months, it was charged, and then I hadn't charged it in months, and it was not in good shape, kind of is a signal for, I think what was happening, and I think this is the problem, when I opened it up, it was stuck in some kind of weird BIOS something. I think what happened is that I might have moved it or something, and it turned on, and it was been basically draining itself. So that's how we got to this state of affairs. Regardless, next time I'm going to buy anything, it won't be like a third or fourth system. It will likely be a laptop that is modern, right? Because as I was letting it update, I was trying to go through the hell of uninstalling and updating Adobe stuff. It was so murderously slow of an experience. Right.
Oh yeah, Adobe has the habit of like completely messing up my internet connection. If I turn on Adobe Update on its own and let it do it, while I'm streaming, it will start using up all my freaking bandwidth, up and down for some reason, and
Right.
just my entire internet connection, my entire
Right.
network
Yeah.
just
So
freezes up.
so my whole point is once that was all settled, it was fine. But that isn't the point. The point is that it just heavily reminded me why I was screaming, running for the hills to replace the thing. Um, and when I was in that position, during the pandemic, obviously pre-pandemic, um, this is what happened. So I finally got a desktop, but I can't carry that everywhere. So if I'm going to buy anything, it will be sort of back on the path of a very functional editing rig, but nothing too crazy over the top, a laptop format. Whenever I'm around, when I'm ready to do that, I'll make those decisions then. Um, but as it is right now, I'm not looking to add a fleet of PCs into the house. This streaming PC, this recording PC, I plan to blend the sort of recording space and my office space, which would be including my main computer, together. So I don't know if I'm going to want to still continue to keep the board separately, and not sort of adding extra junk to my normal PC. I probably will. But they'll just be sort of next to each other. That's all. So, but this
Will you
system
go
right
away
here is
from using a board instead just
no,
using
no, no,
USB-C
no. I'm
USB
keeping this
interface?
Zoom. No, no, no. This is staying. This is going nowhere.
Well, it's going somewhere in a few
Nowhere.
months.
Well, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I'm using this. This is not getting junk. No way. No how. Love this board. The only kind of question is whether USB is attached to my PC or this system, right? And so that's the advantage because I can, again, if I'm all in the same space, it really doesn't matter. So I will have that opportunity to go stand somewhere and do my podcasting stuff separated from potentially noisy PC. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Well, I currently have my PC on, and it's not super warm yet, but it's getting toasty,
mm-hmm.
and it's recording. So the fan's noise is not that much, so you don't really hear it as much. Also, my computer's full of Noctua fans. I don't know if you saw that video from Linus Tech Tips with the all Noctua
Yeah, I saw that.
PC. It's like, yeah, that would be very nice. It would be very ugly, but yeah, it would be very nice.
Yeah, that's the one thing about the Noctua fans is they're not pretty looking, but they're really nice.
I have I
Um,
have I have an
and
Arctic.
honestly, I don't care about the bling.
No, no,
I
me
think in
neither.
that video he was in one of these videos where Linus was like, no RGB, this is great. And he used to be, I swear, every Linus Tech Tip video was like, oh, it's got RGB, that's wonderful. And now
Well,
I'm hearing
that's
this
it
like,
was a
screw
requirement for
RGB.
the because everybody wanted RGB on it. But like I can't I have a PC full of brown Noctua fans, and with
Mm-hmm.
the lighting, it just looks like they're white because they're brown, but they don't show up too much. But you can also get them in gray now, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm thinking of replacing some of the Arctic. I have an Arctic Liquid Freezer 2, which is a water cooling,
Mm-hmm.
like a AIO, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful. I love it. But I'm thinking of replacing the fans on it with Noctua fans because the Arctic fans are kind of noisy,
Hmm.
and maybe replace the fans on my RTX 3060 because they are also pretty noisy.
Hmm.
Maybe maybe that tie wrapping the
So
fans to it that might be a good option.
if I
build
if I
my own
play something
build
like,
my own cover.
oh boy,
I can do this. I can design my
um,
own cover.
no new projects, John. No new projects.
Anyway, I wanted to share one thing with you. This is what I got, and it was wonderful because I could charge my laptop off this,
Mm-hmm.
which is and actually it could power it off this as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a powered Sherpa Goal Zero Sherpa 100 PD Polymatic link slash 15U, and that's on the Amazon.com site, so you should be able to get to it easily.
Hmm.
Um,
So here's a
it
problem
has
with that particular Dell Ultra notebook is that it wants 180 watts, not 100. And you can't really fully charge off of it well. Um, and so it doesn't respond to normal 100-watt power delivery.
this is 60 watt,
Right.
but
And
they do have 100 as well.
yeah, yeah. And so that's kind of the thing is that laptop was sort of that was also part of what their Thunderbolt dock was about and why the cabling was so short on it. Was that it was pushing over 240 watts over that short into Thunderbolt. So they had modified some special stuff for that power to work. Um, so when I bought the laptop, I bought Dell's sort of like, little power. It's a power adapter with a battery in it. And so I have that. That one still kind of works. It will sort of power off that a little bit. But to the point, I need a new laptop. I don't need to go as crazy as like a complete desktop replacement, but I definitely need something functional. And we're getting better options then, but we're still talking into a couple $1,000 zone of things. I don't want to get into a $3,000 thing. I'm looking at the Asus ones, and those are the ones that are still on my maybe that or if not one of the Legion ones, but. Um, I those are what I'm looking at and considering. Razer is maybe sort of a thought, but and I don't like the Alienware stuff. I think they while they got all that power and capability, their laptops are. I love bezel-less. I want to be near that. I don't want to be their sort of gaudy alien theme things. It seems too much. I don't need all that crap. It's a sort of power and carry, right? And the typical scenario for me is going to be like when I'm multi days at like Otakon and I need to be able to like preview stuff I just shot, right? And while I have the eGPU, I'll continue to use that, and it will kind of get me through a little bit to at least glance at some frames without too much headache. That laptop is ill prepared to do anything really tough anymore. It's just way too old. Um, and while I made some upgrades in it, it's just that's just not significant, right? I cannot be functioning off that. I need something that's of modern day. So that's kind of where I'm at with that, and so um, yeah, I don't know. I thought I solved my problem, but I clearly didn't solve my problem, and it was to be because I was not in the position to go spend a couple $1,000s because I was spending that money to get an induction stove and put money into the house, and that $2,000 need was not really a need at the moment.
Yeah. When you do have the money, go get a Mac. The MacBook Pros is so nice. The new ones.
I know.
But
I know
don't
you
get the
say
budget
this.
one.
Everyone says this. I'm just going to continue down the path that I'm comfortable with, that I like, and not give Apple any money if I can help it.
Yeah, well, their shit works until it doesn't, but that's with everybody.
But
that's
the
with
statement
everybody.
right there.
Every single manufacturer every single manufacturer
I
does
don't want to
things
pay for
to their
premium
customers.
because they have a premium label on it.
Their stuff actually works. That's the worst thing about it, because if they were like, oh, look how glam we are, blah 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 blah, look all the fancy, but their stuff is actually fast. It actually works. Like, I have got Windows machines here. I've got Macs. I've got some Linux machines here, right? I know the difference between these, but
Now, I'm also not doing one. I don't game at a level I care about, right? That everyone cares about. Like Linus is doing their amazing tests on. Like, I don't care about that stuff. I'm not doing any Blender, so I don't care about that stuff. And that being said, when I've turned on my system, I played a game like Satisfactory. Yes, I hear the fans. I totally hear everything turbo up, and oh boy, it's heavy, right? But it's also not like I'm dealing with like a 2K monitor. We're dealing with basically near I have a big ultra wide, and now I have two of them, right? And satisfactory on that experience is amazing. But to that point, like that's the only time I've ever heard those fans come on. And when I done the game, it takes like a minute for them to settle the hell down. Otherwise, quiet as hell.
I
And
remember
my
you playing
normal day to
Minecraft on
day,
your laptop. That was not a fun experience.
no, 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 no. So it needs a well, it should be a fun experience again one day. Um, but to that larger point, that like you know, that's the only time I hear the fans on the new system. It's otherwise, even if I go in and I edit something, it doesn't. It's just like yawning at me. The system is fine, and that's my highest need, right? My highest need is not to play a wraparound game where I'm playing, GTA. Like I don't care. It's not my thing. I'm not going to be spending the money and effort on that kind of thing. I don't need that level of care. And oh, by the way, I wouldn't be able to do that on a Mac anyway. So, so there you go. Um, and I don't want. I never liked Final Cut. I just hate it.
You
It's
don't have
not.
to use Final Cut. You can use
I know I
Adobe.
can use Premiere now, but and the M1s, and then this is this premium where I get it. If you want a nice fancy car that you change out every single year, you sell the old one, you buy a new one. Totally, Apple is a life for you. It's not one for me.
You have so many assumptions about this. It's wonderful.
Right? I mean, I had lots of Apple gear before. The arrogance and the attitude hasn't really changed. Yes, the quality of hardware, the technology stack that they're using, they're really doing their own thing. They have always done their own thing. It is definitely impressive, but it does not fall in the line of me converting.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. That's not where I'm at. Even though I'm running through some emulation or some other things, it's not where I want to be.
Well, so we got on this for. I was talking about a new Workbench PC, so I might get one of those. I have a. I'm looking at the NZXT H1. The one where they had the cable that caught on fire. That case. It's like a tower. It's like square, and then it's like a big tower.
Yeah.
But you can put like a GPU in there vertically. I'm thinking of getting one of those because it will fit on my desk while I'm streaming, so I can have more access to the cables, and don't have to. I just have to run up a power cable instead of having the thing be under the desk and me kicking the computer constantly, which is a good thing. And there's probably not something dumping in there if I'm using a. And also, I can move the PC a little bit more out of
Your
the way.
lint.
or lint or metal
Hamsters.
shavings coming from a Dremel or something like that. Anyway, so I was yeah. I'm thinking of getting a new PC for that. Yeah. So yeah. And I had on the list TikTok. I removed TikTok from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, yep, I need to get rid of this. There's turns out they were spying on people.
Mm-hmm.
And they were grabbing people's copy paste their clipboards and sending it to China.
Interesting. I don't really have anything worthy of copy and paste. It's links.
That's what everybody says, but like until they figure out that you copied the password because you use a password manager or something like that, they're just kind of sucky behavior. Either way, they should not be doing that. Anyway, I was like, okay, screw this. I'm done with this. I just removed the app. I was like, I'm done. I still have to log in to actually remove my account, but I'm done using this site. I'm so done with them. So, also, they suck time like nothing else.
Oh, you mean power?
No, that too. It was draining a lot of power, so I removed it just before I went on vacation. It was like it also sucks time because you're like watching this, and then like an hour later you think, oh wait, I should do something else. But that's because the TikTok is very good at like keeping you in there.
I know that. That's how I use it. when I want to burn my brain off to like get it to shut down, I watch some stuff and I do that right when I don't want to get out of bed right away, and there isn't anything on YouTube, there isn't anything on Instagram. Um,
It
I use it. So here's the weird thing: I know what it's doing. I'm pretty evident of what it's doing and how it's affecting me. I'm pretty mindful of that, so I take advantage of what they're doing to sort of wake my brain up. Like, so when I do that stuff, like, I know what's going on. I know what's doing. I know why they're doing it. I know why they're feeding and they're trying to rival my interest to, like, keep me pissed off about something and then follow somebody who just does just that in their, in what they do for their TikToks. And I'm like, no, skip it. Or the new feature is like, please do not show me ever this user again. Prior to that, I was just blocking people.
hmm.
So, like, I know what they're doing. I know these little mental tricks that they're playing on me. I understand what they're doing. It's very evident to me. It seemed like where people are like, TikTok is horrible. And then they do all these algorithm things. And I'm like, yeah, that's what Facebook does. That's what Instagram does. That's what YouTube does. They're just better at it because it's much shorter term. They feed your For You page. You can just ignore it and go into your following and only look at people that like you follow. So like I'm very surgical at how I use TikTok. I understand how I'm getting manipulated, and I take advantage of that to my own needs. And then I say nope, no more. I'm good. You know. But that being said, I also have it sort of very restrictive. I don't connect it up to my contacts or my Facebook or
No, no, no.
anything.
But what it does, it is just they were taking the clipboard
Mm-hmm.
information, and they were gathering information from people's phones, everything that they could. At least that's what I understood from the reporting. I'm not reporting that they're doing this. This is just what I read online.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just it's just really sucky behavior, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to support that, and I don't want my stuff getting sent to China.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at my permissions. I was looking at my permissions list. I have a lot of stuff where it's like not allowed, not allowed, not allowed.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, I, you know, I am just not the typical user, right? So, that being said, doesn't mean that I'm not protected. Well, that might be a good point there because when I was away last weekend, I had thought that my phone was plugged in Friday to Saturday night. By the time I got in Saturday morning, my battery was like 40%. And I thought it was charging. And there was just something about me
Maybe there's
being
lint in your
no,
USB-C port.
no. And so I charged it through something else, and it was fine. And then when I checked it again with that same other charger that was in the bedroom where I was staying in the place I was at, um, it was fine. So the one thing I did turn off is I went into and I said turn off the 5G radio, even though it was on the person's house Wi-Fi and the internet was fine. I just turned that off, and something about that was sort of dragging it down. Um, and I think that was what my problem was. But it wasn't any apps. I look at it all the time, storage and usage, and TikTok has like a tiny little percentage. Only when I'm using it is anything running.
Yeah, so it went up to like 30-40% of the power usage. That was not good.
Yeah, if I'm watching a lot of videos and I'm doing it for an extended period of time, yes, it will eat the percentage down, and I pay attention to that. It's also my indicator. Go to sleep, dude.
Yeah. That's that one TikTok that says when you see the light coming through the curtains. That one. Have you seen that one? Maybe you haven't been on the TikTok that long that you've seen it. It's for some reason the website starts sending you hints of you have to go offline, dude. You have to go off
Oh,
TikTok,
they
please.
always throw in, and I know they don't really care, but they're like, hey, you should stop scrolling. You should take a break. Right? They throw those in there, and then
Mm-hmm.
people started making their own TikToks doing the same thing. Um, Tubby Nugget, that's one of those channels that I follow. It's just like this cute little weird animated character. Every once in a while, you know, it comes up and it's like, it's like, hey, I love you. Now stop, go to sleep. Something like that, right? So
There's
there's
also
some
this
people who
Muppet
are,
one that goes, "Get the off TikTok." Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of videos, I have some fun stuff to share.
Should I be sharing my TikToks? I'll share them anyways, and then you
Yeah.
can decide. Other people can decide. Steve can decide if he wants to watch them.
Yeah. The back rooms, Polymatic link /154. This is from Philion. I have another link from him later. This is about that story of the back rooms, like um, the yellowish.
Yeah,
There's
creepy,
something
weird
creepy
rooms.
about that. It's like
Yeah.
it looks like some convention center that's empty.
hmm
That kind of feel, like
So
an old school, maybe.
yeah, so because I've been with Otakon for a while, I've been in a number of big, large conventions, and I will say that when we were in Baltimore, there we called them the Jeffries tubes. No, they didn't look like they were abandoned and they had that yellow whatever going on. They just looked like industrial, like concrete hallways. Um, and even one of them was basically one of the. It was sort of part of the skywalk that went over a road. So they definitely sort of exist, and the Jeffries tubes are great in Baltimore because I could get from one corner of 4.3 million square feet, like side of a convention center to the other in like 5 minutes instead of walking the concourse with people. And when you're staff, you kind of have a need to. But there are definitely some creepy litter of like where they didn't make rooms out of that space. They just were meant to be a mechanical room, and then they became not a mechanical room in the design and stuff like that. The most creepy example that I had when I was a teenager, I had friends who worked at a movie theater, and the behind the screen they would do part of their like Aaron, Paul, no, not Paul, Aaron, Ben, a whole bunch of other people that were on the early days of the podcast. They worked at a movie theater out here, in high school, and so you'd come and hang out with them at the end of the night or something, to go to a diner or something. But there's like, oh, I gotta go check the theaters, right? And so they'll go check the theaters and the flashlight, make sure people aren't hiding out or whatever it is, and then they would check behind the screens, and it's like one of those abandoned rooms where it's just this cavernous thing that's just sort of concrete. Probably not, didn't look like yellow or gross like that, but they were just, it's real creepy because they're just sort of this empty, clean room that's behind the theater below the screen, and that they would check them all the time, just because sometimes someone would try to come in through a back door and make that their home or something. So they just had to check those things. It's these, every building, every place that has creepy little places like this because they were intended to be used in a design, and it turns out when they filled the content in the place, they become weird storerooms, or they become weird old offices where they put accounting in or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
big stadium theaters near you have rooms like this.
Yep. And that was Backrooms, Polymatic link /154. It's more like a documentary style stuff.
Meant to be to creep you out.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, this is a TikTok. I only have one non-TikTok. Um, so this guy is just talking about a brief thing about when you feel like you get a second wind, when you feel you're exhausted, and you know you all of a sudden don't feel exhausted anymore. Well, this is why. Polymatic.link /15G.
Okay, another video from Philion, Board Ape Nazi Club. Why the NFTs from the Board Ape Yacht Club is actually just Nazis. Polymatic link /155 for that.
Yeah.
It was
just
quite long, but it's also yeah. It
yeah.
makes total sense now.
Stayed away from that stuff completely.
Yeah, there's so many people that I've blocked over the last year and a half with like the NFT crap. Like, yeah, no, don't want nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, it's all collapsing. It's
Good.
wonderful.
Okay, so moving along, that was Polymatic.link/155. I have a 3D printing thing. This is really just for John. If you want to make a bender, Polymatic.link/15H.
Yeah, that's a where they put the when they put it back on the printer bed. That
Mm-hmm.
was to heat it up so it would warp so it would heat up the plastic enough for it to bend.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Oh,
could
got it.
put it together.
The heated bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's Polymatic Links 15H, and then Linus Tech Tips about OnePlus, and I completely agree with this. Polymatic Links 156.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I take little interest unless I'm looking for a phone, and at this point, I'm very happy with the Pixel line and sort of the unfederated stuff that the normal carriers put on it. So I've been very happy with just sort of stock product coming out of Google.
Yeah.
So,
Don't get a OnePlus.
sounds like it.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. This is about where you live, John. Not
I
necessarily
know.
exactly where you live, but
Well,
about.
yeah, but like everybody in the United States thinks that Amsterdam is the Netherlands, so yeah, it's fine. But we do this
It's part
a
of.
lot. Hmm?
It's not entirely the. It's part of.
Yeah, but it's a tiny part of it
I know,
compared
I
to the rest.
understand. That's why I didn't phrase it that way. A different way. Polymatic.link/15i is a total cultural difference, right?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, look, our early form of time and planning was basically cities. So that's how our roadway and sidewalk systems basically get built with that thought in mind, not from a different
Cars.
perspective. Yeah, with cars.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is Cusco Penelope Polymatic Link /157. There was but we couldn't record at the beginning of the month. There was a festival happening here,
Mm.
and I heard some of this stuff coming through from the
Oh,
festival. So I looked them up. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go check it out. I might as well know what the noise is that's coming from the field. Right, so right next to my apartment complex, there is there was a giant festival for like 2 weeks. But like every day there was music, and it was loud and it was obnoxious, and there was some very bad music and there was some okay music. But like it was far enough away for it to sound weird, and not, and it was close enough to be annoying.
that's the way
But
that
this
stuff
one's
works
pretty
out.
good. Polymatic Link /157.
Yeah, I don't know if this was a hit for me. It wasn't bad, but I might check out more of their stuff to see if I'm interested in them as a group at all. That was
Yep.
Polymatic.link/157. Okay, so my one YouTube video,
Which is also TikTok related.
well, TikTok related because of Bella Porch, but she created like a music video. She created like a little short. She's got a particular aesthetic. It very much reminds me of a Yumi Hamasaki kind of videos, though Bella Porch actually moves around and dances and does stuff like because that's her. That's who she is as a person.
This
She
is like
had
a sequel to like the Build a Bitch, right?
yeah, that was her other song.
Yeah.
And then because when TikTok was getting attention, she got picked up by a record company, I believe. I don't know exactly the details of, but that's where Build a Bitch became like a formal song. Actually, I think she made the song, and then they picked it up. They made a music video, and then Dolls is the follow up. So Polymatic.link/15J.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a band called Royksop from Norway, and they make pretty good music. And this is like they have these weird visualizer stuff happening in their videos when they do promotion stuff. So this was Polymatic Link /158, and there's another one which is the actual song Polymatic Link /159. They made a new album this year, and they're making another one. And I think there are going to be 3 of them within a very short period of time. So they're ramping up the promotion for their new song. So polymatic.link/158, polymatic.link/159 for that same song. But I like the visualization that they did with like the beach and then the flowing through the rocks. And for some reason, it worked really well on headphones. So that was pretty nice. It had some nice audio effects on it. The spatial audio stuff that they were playing with, I think.
Very chill music.
Yeah, but they also have some like more beat stuff in there. So it's not just this. This is very, very relaxed for them. Super relaxed for them.
Okay, so I had interleaved 2 links, so I'll just give those straight now. So this one was TikTok about the Walkman. I looked at it, I was like, hey, I have one of those. For all I know, it might be sitting in one of my bins, of stuff I never unpacked as a kid. But polymatic.link/15K. Look, it predates the iPod and was a wonderful device for at least a decade and a half. And actually, to get there was extraordinary, right? Same thing with Sony's first portable CD player was amazing. Otherwise, these things were pieces of furniture. And then the next one that I have right after that is 3 of the hardest. I'll let you just see what this video is. Polymatic.link/15. Now it's funny.
I don't remember what this was.
This is the guy who what the third item was very hard to say.
Oh yeah. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to
thing,
make a reference to this. There is a program in the Netherlands on TV called "Help My Husband Is a DIYer."
Well, the thing is, the sound sample is not from the original. I forgot, but like the video that you're seeing, at least follow her. I've seen her TikToks a lot, and I'm interested in her stuff. So this is probably why I got attached to this at all. But I thought it was funny. It was just like, oh, another one of these videos. And then he gets to the third item, and I'm like, yep. Yes, indeed. That's funny. I like it. Gets a like for me.
Okay, so Vsauce is back. Polymatic link/15A. Did people used to look older? I love his stuff. It's like so cool to have another one of his videos where he's actually, doing the thing that he does. Like go into like a subject so deep and then go back up and then go to something else. And, he makes a story out of those things. And I really like those videos. They're very...
Yeah, he has a certain style that is not replicated easily.
Yeah, it's. I think why I like his stuff is similar to why I like Thistle Tony, because he is like he's telling a story with the thing that he's making, and then showing some techniques, but also having like he's messing with you at the same time. He's not completely telling the truth. He's not completely doing the thing. Right? He's like chopping metal in half.
He's having fun with it. Yeah,
like he's having fun with it, trying to tell a story instead of trying to,
right. Yeah, and he's having fun.
This
with
is
it.
how you do the thing, and you have to follow these instructions. But no.
But this is also cultivated. We don't know what Tony actually looks like, so
we do.
No. He has a little picture. Did he ever show his face?
Yeah.
Did he? Oh, I haven't.
He has like 100,000. I think at 100,000 he put a video up of him.
Oh,
sitting at a desk.
Oh, I have to go look for that then. I don't think I saw it. Okay.
Well, this is uncomfortable, I think he said. Like something among that line. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then I gotta
at some
go
point
look
I'll
for
do a face reveal for my artwork stream and people will no longer follow me. Anyway, it was polymatic.link/15A not for my face reveal because these people already know.
Yeah. Vsauce had to be in the right mood for him. I like that he goes with the story. I just dislike that it takes 30 minutes for him to get there. And that you don't know what journey you're always on with him. And so I'm a little grain of salt with him. I definitely recommend him to people, but um, I like a little bit more strategy of the point of why you're explaining something so that you get to a goal, that you aren't just sort of taking me on a journey for 30 minutes for the sake of taking me on a journey. And that's how I feel like when I watch Vsauce stuff.
Hmm.
Eventually it comes out well, but you have to have, like, if I'm going to investing in a YouTube video or a TikTok is different than me investing in a full-time show.
Did you see his YouTube Premium show?
I believe I probably have not.
Okay, you
I,
should.
I don't. I used to follow his stuff when they were shorter, when they were 8 minutes, whatever it was. It was much easier for me to kind of get into the scope of things. And then the longer he got, the more I just didn't make time for it. And then I got a little frustrated because I'm like, dude, where are we going? And is it going to take 45 minutes to get back there to your initial point? And that's typically what his style is today.
You
And
should. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
You
so
should check
that's
out
like,
his premium show is a little bit longer because of it's a premium show, so it's like 40
mhm,
minutes. But it's good. I
yeah.
liked it. He has some stuff with like monkey brain stuff, and there's an episode about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
So he takes some ayahuasca. He goes to the rainforest in Brazil and has some ayahuasca.
So, like, for example, Mark Roper goes on to a similar tangent, but he gives you structure. He tells you what he's going to do. He tells you how he's going to do it. I'm not talking about Jake Roper. I'm talking about Mark Roper.
I'm talking
And
about Mark Roper as well.
yeah,
I
and
do not like him. I do not
yeah.
like him.
So I don't mind his story format. Now, all it's been lately is another glitter bomb for people who steal stuff off the porch pirates. Um, but or the one he did with the squirrels was pretty grand. I love that. You seen that video? Oh, that
Have you,
one's pretty good. There's multiple actually, so there's some follow-ups. But anyhow, so that was 15A for Vsauce. Okay, so 11 out of 10 is what I called it. And it's so true. It's so right. It's one of those duets, but there's a reason to keep the duet and not just show you the original video. Polymatic.link/15M. I thought it was funny.
okay. Um,
Did you watch it? You probably gave up. This is the one with Joel
with what?
Firefly.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I've already. I saw that one. Yes, yes.
Yeah, Polymatic.link/15M.
Yep. So this is one in the category of probably too long for Alan. Polymatic link says 15B, ADRMU battery module. Somebody designing and building a battery module for his home lab. I think it was.
I mean, I found it interesting. I just didn't. I should have skipped through it because he's going on to topics that are going to take like 15 minutes to get to one small topic about the resistor style and the reason.
Yeah. So I think this is one of those where Diesel Tony's style would be really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so here's the thing about it. I used to solder when I was a kid, right? This is we didn't have Adreno boards and Raspberry Pis. We didn't have any of that. We barely even had Pico chips or little boards and stuff. So like we just didn't have that kind of stuff. So I used to solder when I was a kid. I can't say that I have a talent for it, but like I understand a lot of stuff. I used to be able to look at a resistor and tell you what the ohms was just looking at the bands, right? That information is very much lost for me as a kid. Radio Shack used to have these books that you could buy that had schematics for kits and things. Even some like building your own whatever you wanted. And that stuff is long gone lost. You can't get those. And I might have a couple of those books. I might still have them. And if I do, those are worth something to someone who's a maker. Maybe not anymore with the internet. So you didn't really have that stuff then. So I used to do this stuff. And so he goes into a thing for somebody who doesn't really know a lot about stuff. And so for me, I skipped through a bits of it to kind of get to the fundamental chapters of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So, that was Polymatic.link 15B. So yes, do a little long because I'm one of those people want to consolidate. I I want to render you down to the core points to keep attention and keep focus. But yeah, he took a little bit of time for him to get to where he was going with it. But again,
Yeah.
it's his channel. He can do whatever he wants. So, okay. So, I try to remember what the hell this one was.
Yeah, your
Uh,
descriptions are not on point. It's like
I know I
I was trying
intentionally
to figure out
did.
which video was which, and I was like, yeah, I don't remember what this is. Let me see what it is. Live science. We're trying it right now. Let's see what this video is. It is
I called it probably dead.
oh, it's about dead batteries.
Oh yeah, okay, got it right. Yeah, because that coincides with yours. I was like, all right, this is good. I haven't tried it out myself, but I was like, it does make sense. Because I've noticed sometimes where some batteries bounce and some go thud.
Do you
So
know
I never.
why?
Well, probably. Well, I mean, he explains it in the video.
I don't think he explains it. He just says it does it. It doesn't. He doesn't explain it in the video.
I would think it would have to do with uh, the way the ions are now redistributed.
There's gas in those batteries.
Well, anyhow, polymatic.link says 15M if you want to check that out.
Yeah, so I didn't actually I wanted to go and check if he actually said it, but from what I understand it's because there's gas in empty batteries, because it's you know when it's actually they're full, the stuff is on the other
Other side.
the other side of the battery, and then it turns into a gas form, or it changes density or whatever. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, it would be because you're changing the polar side of it. You're switching it. You're moving the ions. So
okay.
actually, you're not really moving the ions. You're changing their it's basically moving positive to negative. So well, that was it. Polymatic.link says 15M.
Yep. Then Polymatic link slash 15D. There is a cry from everybody who uses an iPhone. Please, 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 Apple, stick a USB-C on your freaking iPhones.
Soon. You guys in Europe are going to get it first because of laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to just hold to their lightning port in the US for God knows any good
Yep.
reason.
Well,
Won't matter to me. I don't buy Apple products.
I was listening to another podcast about this, about how like getting the if some people in Congress were to say, oh, look at what Europe is doing with the USB-C port, that would result in America having different ports for everything for the rest of the eternity, because we can't follow Europe. Can't have Europe have a good idea. We can't follow Europe.
There was certainly some time where the U.S. had said standards up that Europe was like rejecting. And then in sort of more current times, Europe is now saying this is ridiculous and just saying we're just going to require standards. So it used to be that like if some international level somebody set a standard, you had to adhere to it, and that often used to be the U.S. doing it. That being said, companies where there was no standard really ever set, and so like this is a perfect example that came up, and this isn't just the dominate focus, but like Europe came up with the electric charging standard, and it's ridiculous. It's not efficient. It's not great. It's humongous. It's ugly. Forget the aesthetics. It's just clunky. And then when they came up with the next version, they made it even clunkier. So Tesla, not out of arrogance, for the Roadster, there was no real good standard at that point, so they created their own, and then they didn't like it, so they iterated on it, which is what the current plug is today, and it's been that way for literally 10 years, and it is still a better design, carries way more power over it, much leaner, much smaller, can carry data that literally when I plug my car in, it communicates with the mothership basically for things. And it's lean, mean, simple, and clean. And now there's like a petition happening saying, can we just make sure that none of this CCS1 adapter stuff is the standard? Let's just petition that the Tesla plug is the standard. And Tesla has said, hey, here's how you do the designs. And if you want to use our network, we're happy to, let you guys in. You just have to talk to us so we can let your other manufacturers in. And we'll figure out how the payment system needs to work. Because it's pretty obvious and straightforward. I literally plug my car in.
There's the difference. There wasn't any standard yet, and everybody's doing their thing, and then Tesla came in. Like with the same thing with USB, we've had USB Mini, Micro, right? They're all crap connectors. Now USB-C is a real good connector.
Yeah,
That's
and I agree
finally
with this.
something
Yeah.
we can use.
So Apple does what Apple does, is they sort of ride with their own arrogance. And so while they create things like the M1 chips, and they create bionic chips, and they do all kinds of stuff that, push technology agendas forward, they created a lightning port. And the lightning port was brilliant and perfect. And so the rest of the world was like, F you, we're not adopting your standard. We'd have to pay you licensing. So they went off and they created USB-C, which actually, is pretty phenomenal. But it's not, again, USB-C is still sort of a phrasing that not all USB-C is quality USB-C. It's the same problem with Thunderbolt. So that being the case is that, yes, this is a good standard and everyone should just get their crap together and just adhere to it and be done with it. And the only holdout at this point is Apple, right? So but again, the reason I was bringing up like Tesla,
the holdout is Apple, but like on the iPad, on the laptops, it's all USB-C.
It is now, yeah.
It has been for years.
Right.
We've had USB-C laptops.
Why they're not doing it on the iPhone, I have no idea. But this also, the value add is that you can just have universal chargers. You remember the whole thing with Apple and the chips, in the cables and just, they're just being jerks because they can.
I'm not saying that Lightning is a bad connector because it is very sturdy.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no, you have to connect it all the way to the back for it to make connection. But the way that it does it, I think USB-C is a little bit stronger probably.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think where I was trying to sort of take this as, there is just some kind of weird thing that whoever's kind of first to set a standard that then becomes the popular standard at an international level. Typically, it takes a little bit of nudging and lobbying to get people past their, sort of, I don't know, personal agendas to get, let go of it, right? Before there was SD, Sony was pushing on their memory stick, right? So
they still are.
We've had a number of these iterations, and whether they're the best standards or not, basically, whatever is the most popular and adopted becomes the standard. And I agree. I think Apple should just get over themselves and be done with it, and leave it at that. And it's gone. But that being said, like I brought up the charging adapter, for example, is not because I have a Tesla. It's very clear and evident to me, someone at least knows a little bit, that the Tesla charger design long ago is still a better standard than what Europe created and was been trying to force on the rest of the world.
Well, what I think should have happened is that the car manufacturers together should have come up together with a design for this. Like saying there's a USB commission thingy, right, where they do they agree upon things. Not saying that this is great, not saying that they work, because they still have issues. Because
USB
they come up with USB
2.
3.2 second class. I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
The Reckoning. That's basically. I don't know.
Yeah, XGen 6699 2.
It's so nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's just stupid.
At least the port is somewhat standardized. The
Yeah,
connector
right.
is standardized.
Yeah. So like I'm okay with this push on this, and I hope your sets
Anyway,
something up
this
that makes
this
it
guy was
lawful.
fed up and decided to put a USB-C port in an iPhone,
Yeah, I
and
saw
then
that.
fried a charging
He
port.
saw somewhere there was what, like $36 million or $36,000 or something with an iPhone with USB. Like he saw it on eBay.
No, that was, I think somebody sold it. Sold something like that.
Yeah,
I think it was a joke, but like
yeah. Well,
anyway,
yeah, that was polymatic.link/15D.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. I look. This is neat. I'm not saying I would put this in my new basement that I don't live in yet. Polymatic.link/15O, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, imagine setting up a streaming setup in there.
I don't remember what this was.
Just an all-around wrap screen where you can
Oh
literally
yeah,
walk
yeah, that was
into
pretty
it.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's what people are doing. I even saw one person do it where, again, nice big house, right? So clearly this person has wealth. But she was showing off that she got the kinds of things that they use in big concerts or in big stadiums. She bought, instead of getting a big laser projector and screen, she got one of those LED panels, and they had somebody set it up uh, in her
Is
house
it
as a
called The
theater.
Wall?
I don't know
I know
what.
that the guy, Linus Tech Tips guy, was gonna put that in his living room. It's like a very big. They come in sections.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was from Samsung or Sony. The Wall,
Oh,
it's called,
yeah, I don't know,
and they
but
wouldn't sell it to him.
there are a ton of companies that are in China that manufacture this actual stuff, and I see them come up on TikTok every once in a while, where there's a guy where they're showing off that they're doing the install, and then they're in the section panels, and this is how it links together. And when it's off, it's clear, and then when it's on, it's completely like full screen. So I just saw someone where she was setting that up as her theater room with one of those. Like, and she wasn't getting it from Samsung. She was literally getting it from and she had someone figure out how to install it for her. So that was
Expensive.
polymatic.link/15O as in
Yes.
orange.
So DIY VR haptic gloves, Polymatic link /15E. This is a guy who made gloves that makes you feel stuff that's inside of games.
I feel
With
like
the
I've
VR
seen this
headset.
video. When I was watching, it's like he looked familiar in his whole thing. I don't
think
know where I
he
saw
has
it.
some older videos, like from a couple of months ago, and
You
even
might
from
have
like a
sent me
year
the
ago.
link. You might have
What?
sent me the link directly, maybe. I don't know. I felt like I've seen this video before. I was watching it.
Anyway, Polymatic link /15E.
Yeah. Okay. This falls on the funny one. I love again to do it, but I left it in because the guy's reaction.
Write a description in the shortener link so I know what we're talking about.
Pencils and was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason I left it because I want the person to get the joke. I don't want to describe the joke because then you lose the purpose of having the joke. Polymatic.link/15Q.
I sent that actually to somebody else.
It's funny. It's so wrong.
It's funny.
I should buy some of those, give those out.
Make your own. You can probably make your own.
I could probably make my own. I haven't doing enough merchandising stuff for the club. I could probably find a place to do it. Yeah.
And then Polymatic link /15F, the nothing phone.
Yeah. And then this is on my Yes Please Part 2. Polymatic.link/15R.
I don't know what this one is again.
You've seen the movie Fifth Element.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Again, try not to lead in with it because it takes a second for you to realize what's going on there. So now I just sort of, I mean, again, it's in the TikTok, it's a hashtag, but I look and it's like, what am I looking at? These look for me. Look at, yeah, that's good.
I have the models for 3D printing in the resin printer. But I can't print them because they would be too large for my resin printer, so I need to get a bigger resin printer for this.
Mm-hmm.
They would be really nice as a resin print.
But
I'd also
that's
take
not
up
a
a lot of
reason to
resin.
get a bigger one, though.
I'd need a bigger one.
Yeah. That's pretty neat though that someone did that. I thought that. I mean, those were out of wood. I don't think those were 3D
Yeah,
printed.
I've got two more links, and one is Dance with the Dead. It's a thing that I found today. Polymatic/15s. It's along the lines of Carpenter Brute music. I think I linked it recently, so it's a bit more active music, electronic music.
Okay.
So Polymatic/15s for that, and then a link for you, and I want you to go and watch this one.
Oh, why Mark Rober is terrible? Is that what this link is?
You should watch this one, and then I'll mark this, and then I'll cut it in between, and then and reserve your
reaction
response.
Okay, hold on. You're gonna make me do it now. Okay, well, it won't be on your track anyway, so it won't be on my recording track, but you might hear me listen to it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying we'll pause it here.
Okay, so it's good. Though the AI, there's no natural speak in it. So he's clearly using a ton of AI.
He trained an AI to do the
deep fakes and stuff like that. So he needs to have downbeats. But pretty impressive. I mean, obviously the bombs in the bag, this Photoshop and lighting on that was pretty terrible. But I mean, yeah, it's pretty impressive.
His channel is like full of stuff from like Now Red.
Yeah. Okay. Is it like that?
So he initially called his channel Now Green.
Okay. So, but he says Mr. Green now. Got it.
So so that's the chemist. I don't know if you've seen Now Red's videos.
Because you've sent me there a ton of times. So
okay. So he has a channel Now Red and Now Green, Now Blue, and Now Blue is the shorts channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was this guy trained an AI to do all the audio because he usually doesn't show his face that much in videos. Mm-hmm. So he's like, okay, I'll just do like the audio. But like for Mark Rober, it's a lot harder. So he also did a face.
I don't know that he wears his hoodie at all ever. Maybe he does, and I never paid attention to it. I don't own one. But you've definitely had shots of him in that room. But clearly he had to use deep fakes or something to train that.
I think he used his own body for that and then put the face on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right, because it looks like him, but it's not. I was listening to it. I was spending more time. It's like, yeah, okay, I could see where the problem is there are lots of, once you train it with some words, then yes, you can just sort of type whatever the hell you want. But it's like, I'm always in this kind of level of, there's no inflection in anything he was saying.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should record. We should get that AI model and then record a podcast with the two of us. I have all the sources for every episode separated in different channels.
You're going to be able to really get to my rant.
And then I could just edit the rant out.
It's possible, yeah. Well, you could now. You just don't.
we could do the we could just do a recording over Telegram and just record the text and then just
Polymatic.ai, the podcast.
No. Speaking of long things, it's already 2 hours.
Yep. Stuff you should edit out. All right. So, John, how do we end the show? That was also Polymatic.link/15v. I think that's funny. Other people should watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And the other videos on that channel.
It's kind of like he took the glitter bomb and the squirrel episode, and then he mashed it up, and then he just kept moving on the glitter bomb.
It's the same thing with the he does also I think there's also some stuff in there from like the formula for the super elephant toothpaste stuff.
Yeah. Well, he also right, and the ride with the kids was from one of those things. He did something for a kid as a surprise.
Anyway, where can they find you, Alan?
On the internet.
Polymatic.link/Alan. Okay, so Polymatic.link/John for me, and then feedback at podcast@Polymatic.media. For our Twitter, you can go to the Polymatic. Our website is Polymatic.media, and I hope you see you next time. Bye-bye. It's done.
You're making a face.
For reals.
Your eyes are going to pop out. All right,
Yeah.
go get food.